Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
So in the side chat, I see Pragmatic Crystal and my unfinished song.
My unfinished song. Is that by Elton John?
No, it's Beethoven.
Oh, well, that'll never get finished then. Jeez. Sucker's been laying down on a job for centuries.
Demon Orb is here.
Okay. So anyway, this is Bisexual Awareness Week. So just want to acknowledge though, I don't know, as well as with trans people, there does seem to be some pushback again against bi people within the community.
That is so stupid.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah, we're getting back to the same arguments I heard in the 80s that, bi people aren't really marginalized because they can, pass as being straight, and that they're not really bi, and bisexuals don't really exist, and it's like it's all crap,
And cis guys generally think, woohoo, ooh, a girl who's gonna be into a threesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, two guys and her.
Probably not what the person's thinking.
I have seen that happen. Guys who
Yeah.
pushed the wives for a threesome, and the wife said, "Okay, as long as I get to choose the third."
Yeah.
The logic being, if one can't help you finish, the other one might be able to finish the job.
Yeah. Well, that shut the guy up. He never pushed her for a threesome again.
That would be interesting for
But
me. Well, what I'm thinking is it is so difficult to sexually arouse me that I could leave two men unsatisfied in one night.
I used to identify as bisexual, but pansexual I think fits me better. Mostly because that was way back when, before I really had a full understanding of all the various genders available. So I avoid bisexual just because it implies only two genders, and I'm not saying I would sleep with anyone, but I won't rule anybody out just based on their gender.
Well, plus it's 2025, and so you can expand even beyond that. There's couches and dolphins and.
No. I do have a hard line that it has to be the same species.
Well, it also has to consent, and other species cannot consent if they can't speak our language.
Well,
in dolphins' case, they might be the initiator.
Yeah.
Good point.
But I have also had dogs that tried to initiate it. No, not into that.
But dogs are friendly.
Oh, a pasta babes comment.
Oh, hey, Linda.
Oops.
How did they used to say it by now, Galia? Yeah. Yeah, there's still a lot of that too, that it's like, you're not bi, you're just gay and you're not ready to admit it. I got a lot of that. Especially from gay men. I got that from some gay men I hooked up with, and I think it's just that they thought if they could convince me of that, then they would not have to worry. that they'd have less competition or something.
See, I just think that, somebody, if they're really horny, they should just come to me. I mean, at this point, I'd pretty much do a loaf of bread.
I saw a movie where guys were doing trees.
Yeah, that's a thing. In
Yeah.
cars, there's somebody who is dating their car.
Well, the tree thing's not so weird.
Yeah.
Woodies and Woodies get together.
Yeah.
It's got a knot hole there.
I did see a thing about a guy who was trying to marry his car.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, first of all, most cars don't make it to 18.
Good point.
Oh.
And there is the consent issue. So, it's, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have never had a car under 18.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? Well, my very first new car was but that was back in 1973, before transition, so it doesn't count.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've never had a car that was less than 10 when I got it, and yeah, most of them have made it, well into their 20s.
My current ride that I don't drive because it's broken and I can't fix it is 30.
Wow.
Well, the
That
van
doesn't
I'm
sound
driving.
That doesn't sound fixable.
It's very fixable. I can't fix it because I can't afford the parts. And even if I could afford the parts, I don't have anywhere to do it. And mechanics are just outrageously expensive. I was not expensive. I was easy. That's what everybody said.
Now, my first car was, I think it was like 18 when I got it.
Technically, I have never owned a car.
Oh, that's always been under your husband's name?
Well, it's either been under his name or it's been under both of our names, but I have never owned my own car.
You're not missing much.
Well, my first car was given to me by my brother when I decided to move to Minnesota for the first time. And it was given to me with the caveat that I could have it as long as it never again entered the state of Illinois, and there was no further explanation.
Okay. Probably would have been impounded if you brought it in and it was spotted.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it was probably used for some things that I didn't really want to get into.
Right.
Kind of reminds when the cars my mom had. Yeah, she was like looking at these cigarette burns and the roof of the car. Like, what's with those? You don't want to know. Was there a body in this car before? And the person says, you don't want to know.
Well, that
I was once given the opportunity to buy a car that had a body in it. It was a God, what year was that again? It was an 78, 79 Corvette. Beautiful metallic blue. Oh, it was very pretty. But the body had been in there for 6 months.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a bit of a problem with the smell.
Yeah, you're never going to get that smell out of the upholstery.
I turned it down, and somebody else did buy it that I knew, and I said, you should not have done that. I mean, I've had to deal with mice nests in heater systems, and even when you have a heater system that is all metal, you never get the smell out. And this thing, the guy stripped the interior. I mean, including pulling the dashboard, carpet, padding, all insulation, everything. Washed it out like 2 or 3 times with disinfectant and deodorizing soaps and stuff.
Yeah.
Put in new seats, new carpeting. It had the same old dashboard because you can't really just go buy one of those. Yep. And it still stunk to hell.
The smell was still in the
It
plastic.
was still there, and he ended up taking a bath on the whole deal. I told you, David, don't buy that.
They even made a joke about that in one episode of Futurama. That when they were excavating, they found a VW microbus from like the 1960s, and Fry said he wanted it, and and the other guys said, well, yeah, you got to dispose of the bodies, and Fry was like, yeah, I've bought used cars before.
I wonder if that's a problem. They have these cleanup crews that go around and clean up after a mess.
Yeah, the crime scene cleanup people.
Yeah, I wonder if they're able to get out those kind of smells. But then again, they're cleaning it up within 24, 48 hours usually.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It makes a big difference.
Well, I do know my neighbor. He had to keep his window open for quite a while after his mother died. He had his mother staying with him, so he could be with her when she died. But unfortunately, he went away for a weekend, and that's when she died.
Oh,
He
That's
came back,
rough.
and she was sitting in a chair. Rigor mortis had set in. The asshole boyfriend, my mom at the time, and was helping because he did the EMT work. They put her in the body bag, and she sat up because she was the rigor mortis.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
but that one room, he left that window open for like a year.
yeah.
Imagine he
When-
probably didn't even go in there afterwards.
Well, I do wonder who cleans this up, because like one time, after a convention, we were just going to bring all the computers back to my apartment and sort them out later. And when we came in, there was that smell, and there was the coroner's van there. So I was in the third floor walk up, and apparently somebody had died in the apartment right by the entryway. So it literally was, we were just, you take a deep breath outside and you try to hold it as you run up the stairs.
Mm.
And yeah, we found out that this was Sunday night that we were bringing the stuff up, and we found out that apparently the guy had died on Thursday, and it wasn't until Sunday evening that his daughter found him.
nummy.
So he had been sitting for 3 days already before anybody opened the door.
That's yucky. Hey, there was a very disturbing news story this morning, out of the old hometown of Milwaukee. Did any of you hear about that? They apparently found 6 children from 2 months to 9 years old who were locked in a storage shed. The storage things that you can go and rent.
Oh,
And now I have not heard any of the details yet. This all apparently it was discovered last night in the middle of the night at like 1 or 2 in the morning, and so the morning news just had little bits and pieces. It sounds like some parents who lock their kids up, kind
yeah.
of thing. I just wondered
No,
if
I
anybody
didn't hear
heard any
about
more.
that.
Oh
No.
my
I
god!
didn't hear about that.
I had to call my sister-in-law immediately because they have storage
Yeah.
things in Milwaukee, and I just, oh my god, it can't be Darcy's, and it wasn't. So, but
I imagine it would have been at their own house.
6 children locked up. I'm trying to read here. 6 children locked up, including a 2-month-old, in a Milwaukee storage unit.
yeah,
Milwaukee
27th of Silver Spring. I know that neighborhood well.
I know that neighborhood too.
Oh, you
Gee.
do?
Not well, but a little bit.
To 9 years old. So the oldest was 9.
Yeah. And other people said that they had seen kids around the storage facility for a couple of months. So it sounds like this has been going on for some time. I mean, it also could be a tragedy in the sense that the parents lost all their income, were evicted, and they had nowhere else to go. And,
Mm.
Yeah.
they found they could rent something like that for $50, $60 a month.
See, they weren't injured. They didn't have any injuries. Okay, it's good. And clear how long they were in the storage unit.
Yeah, I've been following a story out of Canada of a woman who abandoned her toddler in a field by the side of the highway. And they did find the kid 3 days later, and she was seriously dehydrated and all, but she's doing okay now.
Let's see, a 26-year-old and a 33-year-old were arrested, put into custody for abuse, neglect. It's unclear if the children are related to the adults arrested.
Oh, in Milwaukee?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm looking at the news report.
Wow, that's just incredible. And the other news thing that has just not been touched on by mainstream national news, and certainly should have been. Eight people were shot to death in Minneapolis who lived at in a homeless retreat area, tent city kind of thing. Some guy came by listening to Brian Kilmeade of Fox News and just decided to kill those homeless people because he was told to.
Can you give me a link for that?
Yeah.
No, I don't have a link right now.
Yeah, I mean later.
Okay, yeah, I will, but it's out there. I've heard it from several different sources now.
Yeah. The one in Canada, they decided that the mother was not criminally responsible because she had psychological issues. So the mother has been, put into a mental institution. So that seems to be about the end of that one. At least the child is in foster care now.
Man, there's so many these shootings, so I try and do a search for 8 homeless people who will kill like a whole bunch of other stuff.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know why Fox has not fired this guy who said it was on Fox and Friends. I don't know which of their bogus shows he's on.
Yeah.
Brian Kilmeade, Kilmeade. He said that we should just kill the homeless people.
Yeah,
on the
I
air.
saw that.
Yeah,
said
but
it
he
on the air.
apologized. He apologized.
Oh.
Gosh.
It's from that. Okay, yeah, I'd heard that state. I remember hearing that statement, and then he tried to retract it with a very tepid, "I'm sorry." Okay,
Yeah.
move on.
That's
Yeah,
what I mean. It wasn't really an apology. He didn't really care.
Yeah, and apparently before he apologized, there was a shooting in Minneapolis. So he should be held 100% responsible for this. 100%.
I think I found an article on it.
And I'm serious. I think someone saying that kind of shit and then somebody actually they should be charged. I don't know the legalese, Granny, but they should definitely be charged with at least an accomplice to murder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
and the
called
legal defense
stochastic
is
terrorism. That they're not.
Yeah.
They don't come out. They don't outright tell anyone to do it, but they just say that it would be a good idea if someone did, and hope somebody acts on it.
Yeah, stochastic terrorism.
Yeah.
And the legal defense is, we're not a news channel. We're just entertainers.
Yeah. And they're not very entertaining at that. Hi, Unfinished. See, I've been calling you Journey now. How can I call you Song?
It's okay to keep calling me Journey.
Okay.
That's fine.
Well, he's unfinished. He's going to keep changing it.
Well, the song is part of his journey.
Journey, I found someone who is absolutely excited to be part of your project. She's a young trans woman. She's in her 20s. Quite attractive. She actually sings. I've heard her voice, and it's perfectly decent.
Okay.
She's not a pro or anything like that, but I heard her doing karaoke, and she sounded just fine. And she's real excited to do it with you.
Okay.
She's not on Twitter, so I can't connect you through there. But I did get her to text me, and so we're in contact that way. If you can text me with information I can put you two together that way, or however
Yeah.
you would prefer.
Yeah, that'll work.
She's a real straight shooter. I have no concern about the safety or security with her.
Yeah.
Sounds excellent.
She's an amazing kid as far as I'm concerned. You know,
Yeah.
I know, of course, in the community, the concept of passing is, you know, poo-pooed and looked at in lots of negative ways. But this kid,
There's nuance.
yeah, this kid transitioned young and is the absolutely most girlish woman I have ever seen in my life. You know, cis, trans, doesn't matter. She is just absolute girl in every stereotypic sense you would ever imagine. She's just amazing, and very smart too. She's done a lot of talks, you know, 3-minute things on TikTok, and she's very smart. She knows how to speak, and you know, educated, and all this kind of good stuff. So I think she should fit in well for you.
I did have another trans woman from my support group, tell me that I was totally passing. You know, and getting that from another trans woman is much different than if I got that from a straight person.
Yeah.
Or from a cis person. So, you know, it does depend on the content.
Uh-oh. Did we lose you there, Purple?
What, you can't hear me?
You went mute for a moment.
Yeah, like right in the middle of the word context, we kind of lost you.
No, that was the end of it.
Okay.
Damn it! What the fuck is this?
It kind of sounds like you cut off mid-sentence there.
Maybe I hit my mic button a bit too quick, but you know.
Journey, what do you need for your song?
So have you heard about this project at all?
No.
Okay. So a few months ago, there was a park ranger in Yellowstone Park who's non-binary. Their name is Shannon Jocelyn, and Shannon and a few friends of theirs, went up the face of El Capitan in Yellowstone Park, and they hung a trans pride flag. And a couple months later, Shannon was fired. And the idea of this musical project I'm doing is to honor, their bravery and inspire ongoing resistance by having the first verse of "My Country 'Tis of Thee," and each of the 7 phrases in that verse is going to be sung by a different person, some trans, some allies. And there's going to be a video montage that accompanies it. And during the last phrase, "Let Freedom Ring," the video portion of that will be the trans flag being unfurled across the face of El Capitan.
That sounds cool.
And that's in Yosemite, I believe.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I said Yellowstone, didn't I?
Yep.
Thank you for correcting me.
Mm-hmm.
They should just change the name of that park anyways to Peastone.
You really think that's how they all got yellow?
Well, there's a lot of animals.
That's true. But
And those buffaloes, I mean, when they get going, gallons, baby.
as I've said before, every drop of water on this planet has been recycled billions of times.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you're drinking right now at one point was dinosaur piss.
I was thinking more like aardvark, but okay, dinosaurs, they'll cut it too.
Well, the aardvarks got it long after the dinosaurs were gone, so.
It really is. I love that fact. I mean, it's absolutely true. We all know it. The water column is forever, But you tell people who are creepy, well, you know, up in the space station, they recycle their urine into water. And everybody goes, ew. Well, duh. What do you think you drink out of the tap?
Well, and I was thinking about that because the Christian that Granny responded to last week, that was one of his analogies was, you know, using water from the toilet to represent sin and putting a little bit of that in drinking water and asking who would drink it.
Before going through the filtration plant, not me.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just had to be thinking of that when this guy was using that analogy.
And a lot of the solid waste that they filter out, is often used as compost in our farming.
One point that I made is at least I would rather drink urine than blood. And according to the Catholics, when they take communion, that is pure blood that they are drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just remember, most of your veggies that you're eating were probably growing some good shit.
That's only if it's a Cabernet. If it's a Zinfandel, then it's urine.
Oh, okay.
Well, and to back up Mage's plant, yes, I know that the sewage treatment plants in several cities sell the stuff as compost.
Milwaukee started that rage with their product Milorganite, which has been produced for decades and decades and decades.
Yeah, it's often referred to as humanure.
Oh, I like that. That's nice. And Milorganite is considered to be a very, very high quality fertilizer. Golf courses love it. And so it's not officially written up that way by the manufacturers, but word is from gardeners it serves very well to repel deer.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've heard that.
Yeah, it's not tested or proven, but anecdotally, I've heard it from lots of different people.
I could see how that might work.
Yeah, if it still has the human smell and it's spread over a large area, I can see that, you know, the deer wouldn't want to be where they think there's going to be a lot of people.
Stay away from their buck. It smells like shit. That's I don't know how bisexuals feel about all that though. What do you guys think?
Well, no, do we have anyone who's bisexual on the panel or in the chat?
I ain't telling.
Well, like I said, I'm
You said,
pansexual,
okay, you're
but
pansexual.
yeah.
That's close, but I don't know if you really could choose your own sexuality. I'd go with pan. So
Yeah.
Open my options.
Well, you know, how I identify my sexuality is often based on what partners are available at the time.
You know me. I could leave it.
Yep.
So, Granny, is it true? I've heard that you have a rather nice singing voice. Is that correct?
I'm okay. I mean, I have a good support voice, but I do not have a lead voice. I have a little trouble staying on pitch, so I sing well when I've got someone to tune myself to.
I suppose, Journey, you could consider a duet as one of the lines.
Actually, my original idea, well, one of the first thoughts I had when I was thinking about who to have sing which parts, I was thinking of having like, Bree and Dr. Ben do a duet for, of the We Sing. But part of what I'm thinking, God bless Granny, is to change the language from I and my to we and our, to kind of underscore the fact that this is something that's coming from the community.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to make a segment for you, and if it's not good enough, just don't use it.
Well,
you know,
I did get unfinished, connect up with the Australian humanist,
Yeah.
and I know that you had done a couple things with him.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, he's taken my voice and he's adjusted the pitch a bit. And when I released my music video, that's me singing. And I was absolutely shocked that he used my own voice, because he just asked me to give him an example of what the tune is supposed to sound like. And then he took that and used that for the vocals.
Did he use autotune?
I don't know what he used. You'd have to ask him. But there were places where, yeah, I was definitely off pitch, and he just fixed it.
Yeah,
That's-
if he has some good equipment, he can fix that.
Mm-hmm. But he's a professional musician.
Yeah, he probably has good equipment then.
Yeah. And he'd be happy to help you unfinished song. That's what he does.
Yeah, in fact, yeah, you're using Journey's already in contact with him.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. Yeah, and he's I think he's already put together like an instrumental backing, and so yeah, I'm not sure if I'm just gonna have everybody use that as the template, or if I should have like one person singing through the whole verse, so people can harmonize to that, or what. But yeah, I'm glad to have that connection. You can give me an idea of what software can and can't do.
Yeah, I'm sure with his help,
Well-
you're gonna have something pretty good come out.
Well, and I knew he was connected with, a bunch of other people who play various instruments.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I can play the skin flute.
I imagine those same skills also poured over to the meat whistle.
Uh-huh.
I have used auto-tune. I sing backup. I let my van have the lead voice.
Oh,
Nice try. It didn't
Where
work
were
very well. It's-
Made
Oh,
you're supposed to hit the
that-
crickets.
that took a minute, Purple.
I got it right away. I just didn't want to acknowledge it. It was-
Yeah, but every time I hit the crickets, it gets stuck on Jenny's end.
That's true. Well, maybe with her new phone it won't.
What did I do?
When Mage hits the crickets and they keep looping on you.
Oh, well, let's find out. Give it a try.
Okay.
Oh, it went off.
Oh.
Can anybody hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Oh,
can hear
okay.
you.
Yeah, it went on and then it went off.
Okay. So that's working better too with the new phone. I know
Yeah,
your
well, that-
your old phone had some issues with the whole, the StreamYard to mobile has issues on in itself. Everybody's got some problems if they're using a phone or a tablet.
Fortunately, you're still having the issue of having to get the little code separately.
That's not the phone though. That
Yeah.
changed with the other phone too, and
Yeah.
that's something that Twitter did or whatever.
No, that's just an issue with StreamYard. That anybody who's using a phone or a tablet on StreamYard has that trouble, I think.
It seems very weird though, because on everything else out there, I can copy a URL just by clicking on the URL in whatever page I'm on. And it used to do that with StreamYards too, when you did the link from Twitter, and then all of a sudden it won't. So
Yeah.
somebody did something, but it's not the phone because it was the other phone too.
Well, StreamYard had done several updates and then that started happening, so
Those fuckers.
yeah, it may be entirely possible that they had different people writing the updates and they collided with each other.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
Granny, how's Robin these days?
Good. Well, okay, good. Robin's having issues at work because all the managers quit, and some of the drivers quit too. And the regional manager has had to come in and fill in for the general manager, and they're pulling managers from other stores to help out. Robin's thinking it's time to find another job.
If all the managers quit at the same time, I would, very much be questioning the company.
Well, they want to make Robin a manager, but Robin absolutely refuses because Robin knows the problem with being a manager is number one, you work more hours than the drivers, and two, you make less money than the drivers. And
Yeah.
Robin said, why would I want to work harder for less money? No, thank you.
Yeah, they're trying to sell the prestige of the promotion and hoping they won't really work out how much the money is.
Yeah, the drivers get tips, and that's what makes their position lucrative. And the whole reason that the drivers are getting the good benefits that they are is because Domino's was really struggling as a company about 4 years ago, and they hired a consultant to come in and tell them what was the problem. And the consultant told them the problem is that you don't treat your drivers well. And your drivers are delivering your product. If you have no one delivering your product, you can't sell your product. You have to treat your drivers well. So they completely changed the corporate policy to treat the drivers very well. And now the drivers are treated so well that the managers are upset. What they need to do is offer the managers benefits that the drivers do not get. You know, they can't match the driver's tips, but they can give them benefits, give them more paid time off, give them, other perks.
Well, this is something that I've always said for judging stores, that the employees on the floor are probably going to treat the customers about the same way that the managers treat the employees.
Mm-hmm.
Usually better from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Does Robin get health insurance through that job?
No, my husband and I provide Robin with health insurance. We still give Robin health insurance, auto insurance, and we pay for Robin's phone. So Robin has not quite fully transitioned to adult yet. And I've been wanting to get Robin to transition a little bit more into being fully independent, but anytime I bring it up, Robin freaks out, and so I end up shutting up.
I can kind of understand that under the current climate around here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How old is he?
Robin's 24, and he can stay on our health insurance for 2 more years.
Yeah, unfortunately, in the current economic climate, there are a lot of people who still wind up, living with their parents until they're into their 30s.
Mhm.
Sometimes even later.
Robin is considering moving back here with us and getting a job up here for a number of reasons. And if he does that, that'll be fine. One reason is we have a very large house, and the entire upstairs is Robin's. Robin has his own room and his own bathroom, but he does not have his own kitchen up there. And so Robin has some independence here, but not as much as he would like. And Robin's taste in food, my husband's taste in food are very different. I really would like to see Robin keep his independence, but if he came home for a year or two, that'd be fine.
That happens so much nowadays with young people staying at home and things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The economy is so fucked.
Yeah.
I have to admit, though, we are people of privilege, and Robin has lived a life of privilege, and Robin has far more in assets than his peers. And a big part, Robin had an 80% scholarship all the way through college. So the money that we save for Robin for college, a a lot of it is still in an account that Robin can use to buy a house when Robin's ready to buy a house.
Oh wow.
And yeah. So Robin has some assets that he can fall back on if he has to.
Hi, Sumami.
Sumami's here. Oh no.
Tsunami says I will never transition to adulthood.
It's a trap. And the cake is a lie.
Yeah, well, I'm certainly never going to act my age, especially since I just started, just got to transition a few years ago. I don't just want to be an old woman. Can I at least be a middle-aged woman for a couple of decades?
No, I think you should. I think you should become a high school cheerleader again. Regress in age all the way back.
Let's see
Yeah.
Purple in a little skirt.
Oh, yes, then I got to get all the cute little pink outfits.
I thought you already had those.
No, I don't do pink.
Oh, what?
You know,
You do not
I-
do pink.
I wear purple all the time.
Oh well, but purple and
And
pink go well together.
When I was starting to build my wardrobe, Sloth Girl commented. She said that you're gonna get tired of wearing purple every day.
Yeah, right.
Well, my immediate response, without even thinking about my reflexive response, was, "You really don't understand the artistic part, do you?" And okay, yeah, I have actually I've made it a point to wear at least a little bit of purple every day for like the last 4 years now, and that's partially in memory of my late fiance. That if I have something purple on, it just makes me think of her more.
Instead of wearing purple, you could choose to be purple and dye your body and skin, or at least the parts that show, and dye all those purples.
So basically, a slightly darker shade of Smurf.
Yeah, just toss a little crimson in there, and
Maybe just tattoo purple ink.
oh, tattoos are so expensive.
Well, the one tattoo I have was supposed to be purple, but it's gotten kind of dark now, so it looks more like almost a darkened navy blue. So I was wondering if somebody could touch up the color of that for me and bring it back to being more purple.
On what?
The tattoo I have on my arm. I don't know if anybody can color correct that, if that's something they can do.
They might be able to.
Yeah,
I
well,
think it's easier to go darker than lighter.
Yeah, just that everybody that I see with tattoos, I always ask them where they got them so I can figure out, which place locally gets the most references.
That's
idea.
that's the thing about tattoos that always kind of kept one of the things that kept me from getting them is I hate how they spread over time.
Mm.
You can have one that's got lots of nice detail and sharp thin lines, and then it still bleeds out over time to this big blotch.
Yeah.
That's why people always say, well, you better think about what you're going to look like when you're 80 with that tattoo. And then I always, oh yeah. But then I stopped and realized, well, what the hell am I going to look like when I'm 80? Does it really matter? But if you wait till you're 80 to get a tattoo, well, then it will be nice to the day you drop, which will be like a week or so.
Yeah. Well, I do need to get another one for Sloth Girl. Her son and I are going to get the same one she had on her arm with the little sloth hanging from a branch. And
Nice.
I've just decided that that's going to be my line. That I'm only going to get tattoos for remembering people I was close to that I've lost.
Nice.
And keep them all small. Keep them all just like 3 inches each.
That's reasonable.
Maybe you could get her son to bankroll it for you. Young, employed, healthy, all that kind of stuff.
Tsunami says I should soak in a tub full of grape Kool-Aid.
There you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or start taking methylene blue. or no, oh, not methylene blue. Silver
Silver.
nitrate. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oil silver.
yeah. I was gonna say I knew there's some silver thing that there is a condition that actually turns people's skin blue if they have it. Keep taking it for a long time.
Yep.
Apparently, there's actually a genetic thing that can also cause it too.
Yeah. I did briefly consider having my name legally changed to Purple, which would finally make Google right because as far as Google is concerned, my legal name is Orange Purple.
Well, I mean then you'd just be following in the footsteps of Pink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. But
Her
I'm
name
not
is
one of those.
her name is such a pain in the ass to have to type. So you always got to you do P, and then you got to go to the Spanish alphabet and do an exclamation point, and then the rest of her in English.
I didn't realize it was printed that way.
Yeah, her I is always inverted.
Ah.
Which is just adolescent as all fuck. But I adore her, so that's okay.
I've got some nice tricks with my name, but since I don't want to make it public, I can't explain all of them. Okay, so Granny, you were telling me about the project you're coming up with for your video this week.
Yes, thank you for letting me talk about this. The video that I'm going to release on Friday is a response to Nancy Mace bringing 5 amendments to the NDAA. The NDAA is the National Defense Administration Act, and it is what sets the policy and the budget for the Defense Department. And it's a bill that gets passed every year to set the defense department budget. And this year, Nancy Mace proposed 26 amendments to it. 5 of them got through to the debate stage, and all 5 of them got passed. And one of them is really egregious, and I'm really upset about it. And we have got to stand up for the transgender community. Those of us who are not trans have got to stand up for the transgender community because this is getting fucking bad. The bill will remove all funding for gender affirming care for military dependents. And the way that Nancy Mace introduced this bill on the floor of Congress was to say that, we want to prevent the castration of children. And there were 3 people that spoke out against her bill: Adam Smith, Sarah Jacobs, and Becca Bianchi. I'm not sure how to say her last name, but she's from Vermont. And Stephen Smith pointed out that it's already illegal in the last year's NDA, they already made it illegal to use gender affirming care that would cause sterilization. So what she was proposing in the bill has already been banned. And they kept talking about this being a bill that is for children. And I keep pointing out in the video, wait a minute, people, this says military dependents. That includes spouses. Under TRICARE, I am a military dependent. Now, I don't currently need any gender affirming care, but under this bill, I no longer have that decision-making authority. I am being stripped of bodily autonomy by this bill too. And it will pass because it has already passed the House. It's gone to the Senate. The Senate is controlled by the Republicans. And unless there's a Democratic filibuster to stop it, which we know there isn't going to be because this is the NDAA. They have to pass it. And so it's going to pass and it's going to be law soon.
There's another lovely addition in that law, in that NDAA is that makes it legal to put LGBT people in concentration camps to provide them with conversion therapy involuntarily.
Yeah, basically declaring all transgender people as being mentally incompetent so that they can put them into care facilities.
No, this is specifically LGBTQIA, not just trans people.
Okay.
They can take gay people off the street and say, "You're going to conversion therapy, Buster."
That's in the NDAA?
That's what I understand.
I didn't see that.
Well, it's okay. Maybe I have the NDAA wrong. It's the that interim bill, continued funding thing that it just passed the House.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I
the
wasn't
big
aware of
bonkers
that at
bill?
all. Gosh.
Was that the big bullshit bill?
I believe it's part of that. I'm sorry, I do not know their structure well enough to spout this out accurately.
Yeah.
But it's the final. It has to do with the end of the budget year of September 30.
Yeah, they're rolling things into an omnibus bill again.
Yeah, continuing resolution or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's in that, which means that it's something they have to pass, and then both parties are well known for loading those up with things that they want to manipulate.
Mm-hmm. Tsunami brought up a really good point. Are cis women who are on hormone replacement therapy, are they going to lose their? Yeah, I think they are. Military dependent women. Yeah.
And that's a fairly common thing for middle-aged women to be using that now.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is going to be a backdoor for making contraceptives illegal, because those are hormones too.
Yeah. Yeah, another thing that's being put into the budget bill that they're trying to pass is since Charlie Kirk got killed, they want to add I don't know, something like 1.8 million. I'm not sure what the amount was, or 1.8 billion in there, to provide additional security for congressional workers and judges.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Kirk is dead. What? How did that happen? And I missed the party.
Yeah.
Oh, there's still partying going on.
Yeah.
One of the things I mentioned in my video is that part of the reason that this did not get any publicity at all in the news is because minutes after this was passed, Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and of course that dominated the news.
Yeah. It's just funny that while federal judges that had presided over Trump cases were never given extra protection, that suddenly, since somebody on the right got assassinated, that now they're all for it.
Yep.
I've learned a few things about Chucky Boy that I was not aware of. He comes from an upper middle class family. Did anybody know that? He keeps talking about the downtrodden people oppressed by the leftists and all this kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
He's a rich boy. Okay, he started out his little career with a personal value of like $400,000. I've never been worth $400,000 in my life. And now he's worth, well, his estate's worth like 12 million or something like that. Did you know that his wife comes from billionaires? And she's one of the richest people in the country?
No.
Didn't know that.
Yep. And so she gets to inherit all that 12 million, like it'll make a dent. But then she also is collecting 5 million in donations that they from a GoFundMe they put up over his death.
Yeah, that happens whenever somebody on the right is threatened that they wind up collecting hundreds of thousands or millions off of GoFundMe.
Yeah, but she's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Trump raiding the Children's Cancer Fund all over again.
Yep.
And then I love this picture that's circulating of her. They put it up next to Donald Trump with that one where he's just looking his usual self with that absolutely judgmental scowl of a frown that he wears all the time. She does the same thing. They look like brother and sister. Oh my God. Yeah, and now she's going to carry on the torch for Chucky.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll succeed.
I don't know. She seems to be every bit as vitriolic as Chucky, which breaks my heart because what is she doing to their children now?
Yeah, but I don't think she's got what he had that will garner the same attention. People will give her the sympathy attention for, maybe about 6 months. And then I think people are going to lose interest in her.
Yeah, well, also with the right wing, it's a lot harder for a woman with the same assets and abilities to be able to do something a man can do.
Right. Plus, I don't think she has the same abilities.
Yeah, I have to give Charlie credit for he was pretty good public presence.
Yeah, that was his strength. Is manipulating the public presence.
That plus he was pretty fast on his feet with the quips.
Yep. Even Granny, I'm trying to move to Canada. I've been working since the 80s to get Canada to annex Minnesota, but I'm just not getting enough support from our northern neighbors.
Well, Minnesota is technically blue, but it's 50-50 blue.
Yeah,
it's your state. It's purple.
I've been looking into a lot of this whole Charlie Kirk thing. The whole story around it is very confusing to me, but since I'm looking at it right now, I'll bring up. As I saw one of Charlie's clips where he was talking about Leah Thompson, the swimmer, and he was talking about they came in like 60th place in the men's division, but then they switched over to the women's division after transitioning, and they came in first. Well, I happened to I decided to look up the records of this person, Leah Thompson, and let's see here. In 2019, they were still in the men's division in the 500-yard freestyle, same in competition, and they came in at 4 minutes 18.72 seconds.
For which event?
The 500-yard freestyle. It's in the Ivy League
Champion. Oh my God!
That was a personal best.
That sucks.
that was a personal best. But want to take a guess what place they came in?
67.
I'm gonna bet it's 20-something.
First.
Oh, really?
They took first in that. The one where that's all contested is in 2022. Who the 500-yard freestyle, and they came in at 4 minutes 33.24 seconds.
For an 800?
500.
For a 500. Okay.
Okay. I don't know anything about what are good swimming times. So
those are actually reasonable. Back in the old days, a 400 in American high school sports was like 4.5, 4:15 to 4.5 for 400. So you had another almost minute for 48 to 55 seconds for another 100 yards. So those are pretty decent speeds. I used to swim 500 and sometimes 1,000. I never achieved those speeds. I sucked.
Hey, at least you could do it. I don't think I could swim, 500 yards.
When I did triathlon, I swam at a rate of 1 mile an hour.
Yeah, but you finished the triathlon, and
Hmm.
I can't imagine. Even at my best, I don't see that I would have ever had the endurance to do that halfway.
So anyway, the point I was getting into is this Leah Thompson managed to come in first place in both the men's and women's division.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
In a given event, in a given
In the same event.
one
Yep.
particular event. How about their placing in the whole spectrum of where they place in the NCAA men's or NCAA women's?
I'm not sure. All I could really dig up in short notice was personal bests and some times
Yeah,
in between different divisions.
Leah Thompson came in very low on the women's overall ratings. Okay, that's what makes all of this such a laugh, and the right absolutely will avoid that at all costs because it destroys their argument. This person had one good day and one good event to against a mediocre swimmer, Riley Gaines, I believe her name is.
Yep.
Is not a great swimmer. Period. She's just not.
Yep. And also, what I've heard is that the last placing that she had in the men's division, where the placing was really low, that was after she had been on HRT for like a year, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And the other thing to note in that whole discussion is that on that particular match, swim meet, where Leah did win, for the rest of the events of that match, she was pathetic. Took fifth or worse, and Riley Gaines did better. And so it's just you have this little girl who, by the way, grew up in a conservative household that was anti-trans. Is just making a mountain out of a molehill. She lost an event. She got beat once. What's your problem? You snotty little bitch. And now she's going to be working for the Trump administration, by the way. Did you know that?
Doesn't surprise me.
I heard she's going to be one of the support staff for their wonderful press secretary, I think.
Oh.
Because she is blonde, and she meets Trump's criteria, blonde and young.
Mm-hmm.
Not young enough, but it's in public.
Well, Trump is pushing for Cuomo to be mayor of New York.
Yeah, that'll go far.
Well, and if Cuomo drops out of the race, he has also said he's considering making him our ambassador to Saudi Arabia.
Okay, that'd be fine. It'd be nice not to have to look at him.
Yeah, the people that Trump is appointing as ambassadors, I don't really think are the ones who are going to put the best face on America.
I'm going to screw things up here. Sumami said that she has an actual question related to the topic, and then she asked that in chat. You want to put that up for everybody?
Does one still count as bisexual if one is only interested in the same gender sexually but not as a partner? Yeah. Well, it's bisexual, so it's, who you're sexually attracted to. I mean, you can consider biromantic as a separate category.
Yeah.
I'm very much that way, that, I enjoy playing with men for the physical sensation, but it is extremely rare for me to ever develop any feelings for a man. I bond emotionally much easier with women.
That's because you're a big sissy.
I can think of qualities I would find attractive, but wouldn't want in a partner.
Mm-hmm. Well, it really depends a lot on your attitude about sex. I mean, for me, the physical act of sex is something I think of as just being one of my hobbies. So as being a hobby, I want to explore all different dimensions of it, but I don't necessarily want to be, romantically involved with everyone I play with. And as long as that's well, And as long as that's out on the table before we start, so nobody's expecting anything more, I think that's fine.
I see sex as this thing that everybody on the planet lies about, that nobody else nobody actually has any sex anymore except to make babies, and I'm not that unusual for having been virgin all these decades.
Well, since COVID, it has definitely gotten far harder to find people just to play. But at this point, I haven't had a date in over 10 years, so.
By the way, did Trump realize that he guaranteed Cuomo's loss when he endorsed him?
I was thinking that, yeah.
Probably
and-
didn't realize that.
Well, what Trump was saying in an interview was that basically he needed the top two forerunners to drop out and support Cuomo.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah, because that's the only way that he thinks Cuomo could win against Mandani in a one-on-one. But as long as there's more than one Republican candidate vying for this, that he's afraid that Mandani's going to win. And I think Mandani very likely will win because he's talking about policies that affect everyday people.
Mm-hmm.
One of his policies is he wants to make public transportation free. This is something that is going to affect a lot of people in that city.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost everybody.
Yeah.
Boy, I wonder if they could actually pull that off. I don't know. I don't know what buses and subway cost in New York City, but shit, I know in Milwaukee, last time I was on the bus, it was over $1. I think about $1.50.
Well, and part of the thing of making public transportation free is the idea of, then it's more attractive to people and fewer people will be driving to work every day to help relieve the traffic congestion.
Right, exactly.
But their taxes will have to go up to pay for it.
Yeah, but the revenue that they generate from people coming into the city to spend money, the money that they generate from commerce being able to flow better, it's entirely possible will be greater than what it's going to cost them to do that. I don't know. I would need a cost benefit analysis.
One of the things he was saying to raise revenue to help cover it was that basically putting a tax on private vehicles, coming in and out of the city during business hours.
Yeah, wheel tax.
Yeah, they already have that.
Yeah, but like that vehicles making deliveries would be free, but just people just driving their cars on their own would have to pay an extra tax. So he's got some good proposals, and I am surprised that he is even talking about how he's going to fund some of these. Mm-hmm. So he's not just giving pie in the sky ideas. He said, this is what I'm going to do for you, and this is how we're going to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
They could probably get a lot more right-wingers to take the subway and the bus and stuff like that if they had like white-only cars and stuff.
I have heard a lot about there being lesbian cars.
Cool. Take me to New York, please.
Apparently that's a thing that happens, that there are certain cars that are like all women, and if a man tries to come in, they all growl at him.
Well, that's a good thing. I mean, I don't want to get into man bashing. I do, but not on this show. It's just not conducive to the show.
Hey, Spooky.
I suppose some of that depends on like what size paddle you're going to use.
What?
Wait, what depends on what size paddle?
The man bashing.
Oh. No, that's spanking.
Okay. Bashing, spanking. Okay.
Bashing is much more of a BDSM thing.
Hey, start posting messages on FetLife, and I'm sure you can find guys who are into either one of those.
God, sex is so weird, isn't it?
Mhm.
I mean, when you really think about it,
Well,
you know, you're getting down, you're doing it like the dogs out in the backyard. And we've invented all these toys and methods and substances and places and styles and stuff just so that you can be like
Yeah.
the dogs in the backyard.
Well, with your BDSM, just make sure you're not using any homophone, because you don't want to confuse them saying flower with flower.
Yeah.
Flower with flower.
Yeah. Well, like I say, that's why I consider it as a hobby, because there are so many different things to explore. And you're never going to find one partner who is necessarily into everything you're into. So that's why I've always had, poly or some form of open relationships.
I did a calculation once of if I was able to begin a program of making up for all the sex that I've missed in my life, I would have to screw about well, first of all, we'd have to expand the day to 63 hours, and it would have to be every day, all day for the next 5 years, and I would catch up to everybody else.
Well, sounds like a good life goal for you, right?
I don't have that much warfarin. I
Yeah.
can't.
Well, given my understanding of people's current sex life, they might catch up to you, Jenny.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the great things about the relationship I had with my late fiance was there were some things she was into that I wasn't. So sometimes if she brought another guy home to play with, I was like, great, I've got a night off so I can do my other hobbies that she's got no interest in.
Which one was your favorite costume?
No, I didn't get into costumes.
Oh, come on, you cosplay.
Well, there are things I would have liked to cosplay, but that stuff gets expensive real quick to make the authentic costumes. Although, if I had someone to help me with the artwork, help me paint it and make it, look appropriate, I did lay out how I could do the skeleton and the shell for Slag, which was the Triceratops in the original G1 Transformers. And I figured out how I could make a costume that I could actually duplicate the exact transition sequence that was shown in the cartoon. So one day I would still like to do that and go to a convention with that.
I saw a video of some kids' costumes that were Transformers that were so cool. When the kids would get down on their hands and knees, they would look like a car. And then they would stand up and they'd look like the robot.
Nice.
I've seen that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
those
seen
are
a
clever.
couple of people do that. And even one convention I was at, there were 2 people who could do that. And I'm going to be out of town this weekend. I have to make the journey back to see my bio family, which is really a family obligation more than anything I want to do.
Oh, is this your mom's birthday?
No, that was over the summer. That's already passed. But yeah, it's been over a year since I've been back there, so that's kind of. I'm supposed to show up once or twice a year.
Jenny, that means you'll need to pick out something for Thursday. I already talked to Greg, and he said he's okay with whatever you choose.
Yep. Well, and then not the following weekend, but then the first weekend in October is one of my gaming conventions. And that's one that I really look forward to because the one in October is a gaming convention. It's a sci-fi gaming convention that is put on by a queer group. So it's like, you can really be totally out there and you know that everybody there is going to be LGBT friendly.
Nice.
And it's like even the hotel where it's being held is well aware of this. So if any of their staff is uncomfortable with this, they are not working that weekend.
Pussies. How can people? I just don't get it. How somebody can be that creeped out by somebody if they're gay or trans or whatever when they have nothing to do with their life. They're just somebody who's passing in the wind.
Yeah.
And they think that they have to have some big say so in their life. You fuckers just grow the fuck up. God.
Hi, Robin. Yeah, I don't get it. That really anybody's sexuality or gender identification, makes absolutely no difference to me, unless we're deciding to date. That's the only time their sexuality matters to me.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I like the one meme that we've all seen, I'm sure, of that what homophobes and transphobes are afraid of most is that we may begin to treat them the way they treat women.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much the problem with the far right in general.
Yeah.
That they're always afraid that the minorities are going to start treating them the way they've treated the minorities.
And the worse they get about this whole situation, the more they deserve that.
Yeah. Well, and that's why we're up to the point now of, having the ICE agents running around that they're wearing masks so that nobody can identify them. And it's like, if you're wearing masks, you're not a police force anymore. You're a Gestapo.
The Gestapo didn't even wear masks.
Yeah, well, a police force should be able, for the general public to identify them.
So basically, they're stormtroopers from Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, they are. They're the first assault wave.
Yes, Robin, that is Granny in the corner. She was bad, so she should be facing away from the camera, but spooky. Thanks.
So, Granny, why did you decide to move your chair away from the piano?
Because of the lighting. I didn't like the way the lighting behind me was. I felt it was too dark. And when I moved in front of the closet, it's easier to light that closet door than it is the background behind me. But a lot of people liked this background better, so I moved back.
Okay, yeah, I can see. Yeah, well, the piano was, dark wood and all, so yeah, I can see that had an effect on the lighting.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. This is nice.
Things like lighting are things I'm still learning about, and one of these days I will go live again, but unfortunately with my transitioning, there are things about myself I'm still not happy with, and working on them and working on just, my own being comfortable with my own self-image about things that I can't fix.
When you figure that out, let me know.
Having a support group is a major help to this, being able to go twice a month and talk to 8 to 12 people about it. Yeah. About people who are going through the same kind of process.
we could make this really, really heavy duty discussion if you're up for it or not. Your choice.
Oh, sure. I try to be totally open about everything.
No, not you specifically. The conversation, the topic.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm fine with it. If you want to talk about it now, or if you want to make it a topic for a future show, either way. I just don't know if the other people here would, have anything to connect to with it. So maybe you and I could make it a topic for a Saturday show and get some more trans people in.
That's an idea.
Okay, yeah, DM, send me a DM on Twitter about it later, and we'll see who else we can get to join in.
If as I'm thinking about it right now, I think the best topic or how to approach it would be as a major discussion on the whole concept of passing and beginning transition and things like that.
Yeah. Thank you, Robin.
Robin, I agree. Purple's the sexiest T-Rex I've seen. Or T-Rex. Sorry. I'm sorry. Try. I can't even say it. Try Triceratops.
Mm-hmm.
Or Biceratops, or whatever your kink is these days.
Ceratopsian might be the more general term.
Yeah. Well, because I'll let it go with Triceratops because that's the one people are familiar with. But actually, I am descended from a Torosaurus,
which nobody's ever heard of. You should produce a picture if you're going to tell us that.
It was a relative of a Triceratops, mostly notable for having a much longer frill.
Yeah, but show a picture.
Okay. I'm slow about this. It'll take me a minute to bring the picture up.
No, faster.
I'll get it faster.
Well, Purple has a wolf between her horns.
Oh, that's kinky.
Well, I'm talking about the way Mage is perched right between Purple's horns.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, that happens a lot in these streams.
Here's a model of one.
Oh, I didn't know that was real. I thought that was just somebody who was really bad at art.
Yep.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah, like I say, they're very similar. There's a bit of a size difference, and the Torosaurus has a longer frill. So it doesn't just protect the neck, but it goes back over the shoulders. So
size issues were an issue for dinosaurs too, huh?
Ceratopsians came in a huge range of sizes. Oh, and
thank you for getting that, Granny.
A recent discovery I was reading about, which proves that dinosaurs understood battle tactics. But they found footprints of a herd of Triceratops that seemed to have a couple of ankylosaurs following them. And this makes perfect sense because the Triceratops horns would cover anything coming from the front, and any predator who tried to sneak up from the rear would get the club from the ankylosaurs.
Another thing
they understood battle tactics for protecting their herd.
Cool starships.
Yeah, another thing I'm noticing with the difference between the Triceratops and the Torosaurus is the horns.
Yes, they did tend to have longer horns, and they were often curved rather than just being straight.
Yeah, the Triceratops horns actually tend to curve upwards as they grow, whereas these look like they remain more toward downwards or straight.
Well, some of them, when they got quite long, actually had a bit of a gentle, that they would go down and curve up again. So it was almost like a soft S. So I have been in the process of updating my mask. But yeah, Well, Granny and Robin actually got to see me in person at the ARC protest,
Yep.
so
And
they know what I
Purple
look
is
like in
cute.
real life.
Mm-hmm.
Granny, then I'm going to ask you to break confidentiality here, and I need to ask: was purple skin scales or feathers?
Actually, it was just skin. Sorry.
Actually, the fossil evidence for the Triceratops is that there are impressions where the anchor points would be, that some scientists believe they actually had like porcupine quills sticking out from their hips.
Yeah, it's from skin impression, and they found a rather uniform pattern on the skin, and with these little bumps or indent that would suggest as possibly quills. There's some question as to whether they were quills or just like skin indentations. And
Yeah.
though usually with those kind of indentations, you'll see the pattern represented in the skeleton, which you don't see here. It was just in the skin.
Well, no, they have also found it in some of the skeletons when they went
Oh.
back and looked. That
They
they
found it
found
from
the
the
anchor.
skeleton
They
too.
found the anchor points in the hip bones.
That I haven't heard of yet.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But it's also possible that those were some kind of feathers. I just like the porcupine quill idea.
Well, yeah, it was what they think it was. It would have been sort of would have looked like a porcupine feather or quill, but it
Yeah.
was actually a feather. It was a proto feather.
Yeah, it would have been a type of feather that had just hardened into something
Yeah.
more stiff.
Yeah, it would just have been like a really stiff feather, kind of
See,
like
I thought. Go ahead.
you kind of like how you've seen in feathers as they're first coming in, they're like little kind of spiky. It would have looked something like that
Yeah.
instead of turning into a fluffy thing.
I've always visualized Tyrannosaurus Rex wearing a feather boa. with that frill and the horns, it would drape just perfectly.
And do they walk bipedally?
Hi, Molly.
When paid enough.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't think and any of the ceratopsians with a heavy frill would not be able to walk upright.
Good point.
Well, there were some of the earlier ones that were bipedal. So it basically,
Really?
well, it basically seems they started out from a bipedal ancestor,
Uh-huh.
and it was just as the head ornamentation grew more, that they wound up going to a more quadrupedic walk.
Interesting.
Some of the proto-ceratopsians are like that.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah,
would that be de-evolution or?
Hello, Victoria.
No, that wouldn't be de-evolution.
No,
Yeah,
but
Yeah, evolution doesn't really have a direction, so like Pakicetus was a land-dwelling quadruped, and blue whales, their descendants are marine. They've got front flippers, but not much in the way of hind limbs.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of how we could actually get a actual mermaid, kind of like a creature through evolution, going with a monkey that would dive down, sort of like a crab-eating macaque, and eventually it would just evolve into a fully aquatic creature with arms for grasping.
well, actually, the sloths we have today evolved from a sloth that had, become aquatic. So when you had the huge like megalotherums, that were like 7 feet tall, there was a smaller variety of sloths who lived very much like seals do today. And then it was those smaller ones that somehow went from being aquatic to living in the trees. I'm not sure what the transition was there.
Well, people, it's been fun, but this is about as long as I can sit in one place for a time.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's always great to have you here.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me talk about my project, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Well,
Yeah, look forward to it.
Any week that you have
Absolutely.
time, you can drop in.
Okay.
And thank you for being such a wonderful person.
And it was good to meet you, Guyless Granny.
Yeah, you too, Journey.
Yeah, I've seen you around on various channels. Saw
Okay.
you on Apostate Sisters, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan.
I'm so glad you two hooked up. I metaphorically, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, Granny. Yeah, there are a couple of people who got pictures of me at the Ark Encounter. Whenever anybody was saying they were going to take pictures, I had my mask. But there was somebody who just kind of took a picture of the whole crowd, and they did catch my face in there. But so far, all the people who have used that one have done me the nicety of taking my, editing my face out or putting my avatar over my face. So I appreciate that nobody has, been outing me without asking me about it. I appreciate that our community is very good about those kind of things. It's kind of funny because I have what Diana was saying was possibly even the last or one of the last pictures of Psystrike. But since neither of us had done a face reveal at that point, I'm wearing my mask, and he's got one of his oven glove face protectors over his face. So you can't really tell who either of us are. But that was at the Ark protest in 2019, and he died not long after that, just a couple of months after that. Oh, Tsunami says she posted that one on Gather. Even Gather, isn't too bad because then it's still just people within our community there. It's not like it's out on the public internet for everybody.
What is this, Gather? I've never heard of this.
Don't worry about it because it's something that Jay had always thought was going to be a great site for us, but apparently they've made some changes and now Jay is saying to stay away from it.
Jay who?
Jay Bundy.
Yeah, Jay Bundy, Pocket Locker.
Sorry, don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, he does atheist content and that, so he's, he's part of our group and he's always been very supportive of everyone.
Yeah, he's an evolutionary biologist. He took part in the Linsky long-term E. coli experiment. I don't know.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah. And he and Sal Cordova have an interesting history.
Spooky, you can blame Psystrike for my presence. Psy was the first person who got me to go on air on a panel back in the Science Friday days.
Cool.
Yep.
And I just turned into the giant asshole I am today. It was great.
And I was never actually on the panel there. But Psystrike had promised me that I could be on the next panel the week before he died.
See, that fucker, and he had promised me to build me a computer out of all his used parts. And then he went and died. God damn him.
So he went and died just to avoid being on the same panel with me.
Hey now. I doubt that.
I don't.
Yeah, I really missed the Psystrike movie nights. I mean, that was just great to, even like just being in the side chat. It was just a great group and everybody, giving their random thoughts on things.
It's kind of weird that it ended. Well, I guess his daughter, stepdaughter, whatever she was, taking it over.
Yeah, Psystrikeling had just got overwhelmed with real life and just couldn't have the
Yeah.
time on a regular basis to do
Yeah.
anything with the internet.
Yeah.
Spooky, how long ago was that? Can you give me a year, a calendar year, when that was? My brain is fried.
Well, like I say, I remember that, going into 2019. So I had been, getting in there for, yeah, well, I got into this community in right at the end of 2017. It was like around, November of 2017.
Oh, hey, you guys, you guys want to see my toe?
Already seen the picture.
Well,
Well,
you did, but I'm talking about the chat. You guys want to see my toe? It's really gross.
Yeah, you didn't reply to me when I asked if I could use that picture.
Oh, I
You
didn't
know,
see
or-
that. Yes, you absolutely can. Bring it
Yeah.
on up.
Yeah, so I could use it as an alien monster in my, when I illustrate my novel.
That would be okay.
Mage, can you pull that one?
Pull one just got back.
The last picture Jenny posted of her toe.
Yeah.
The one with the one with the grill.
Yeah. Hey, Sammy. How's Sammy son doing?
My toe feels really good, by the way. I'm not really having any pain from it.
That's good.
But wearing this damn foot thing triggers my restless leg syndrome every night, and it is absolutely maddening. I don't know if anybody out there has restless leg syndrome. It is so uncomfortable. I mean, it's not painful; it's uncomfortable to the point where I would do something very rash if I had the means in my hands. Sometimes it's that upsetting.
So
Isn't that lovely?
how are you doing walking on it?
Well, I'm in this shoe thing that is solid and flat, and I'm bound to it. So it's kind of cool in one way.
Yeah, I suppose that's to keep you from bending your toes when you walk.
Right. They do not want any bending going on.
No, I still say get googly eyes.
On the toe?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, that would be a great picture.
Well, Jen, you can decide yourself there.
Now, should I put the eyes like to as we view it here below the grill, but turn the picture upside down so it looks like that's the mouth and below the eyes, or what do you think?
Either way.
Well, the grill's going to be the mouth either way.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it would be good for an alien monster.
Well, Spooky, I was kind of betting that you had a foot fetish thing going, so I did that for you.
Well, Jenny, there are all sorts of fetishes, and just because it's something unique, if you posted it on OnlyFans, you would probably get some guys following you.
Yeah, but you got to report that income, don't you? Damn it.
Amputation in foot fetish. I'm sure there's something there's a category for that.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah. You put it that way.
Yep.
Ooh, this could be my golden moment.
You will probably have a lot of guys asking if they can buy the toe that was cut off.
Well, I'm going to have to. No, I can't. I asked them for that because I wanted to make soup, but they said no.
Yeah, I know you get asked about that. I'm saying I'm sure there's a lot of guys with the amputation fetish that would ask.
And they even had an excuse. Oh, well, you have to send that to the lab to be examined for other infections or particulate matter. And yeah, you guys are going to make your own damn soup, aren't you?
Well,
Yeah. A while back, we were talking about Footless Joe, and one of her videos, she talked about how she'd asked if she could keep the amputated foot, and the answer was no.
Apparently, there's a lot of requests for that.
Although
Yeah.
once when I had a wisdom tooth removed, they allowed me to take the wisdom tooth home.
Yeah. Well, when they took the last of my teeth out, the oral surgeon wouldn't even let me keep the teeth. You know,
See, now that how can they do that? I mean, they're yours. You own them.
Well, I'm betting that's how he made his real money was, just being able to leave dozens of teeth under his pillow for the tooth fairy.
Tooth fairy comes by and drops a stack of 20s under his pillow.
Well, no, it wouldn't be a stack of 20s. It'd be like rolls of quarters.
It's like the Briss rabbi starting a luggage company.
Yeah.
Does it have to be
Oh.
No, see, the idea of the Briss luggage, is you pull it out and it looks like a billfold. But if you stroke it long enough, it becomes a garment bag.
Well, that is true. Those are old jokes, aren't they? God.
Yeah.
I think I've heard Don Rickles say that.
Do you know the story of the
Oh,
frozen toe drink? No, Jen, you're going to have to tell me about the frozen toe drink.
Me mentioning a celebrity just made me think of Robert Redford and how sad that is. But, he had a good life.
Yeah. Well, he had a great career. He entertained a lot of people.
Yeah.
And he did a lot of really great stuff for the world and the people.
Yeah, I know he was active in a lot of environmental causes.
Mm-hmm. And just having started Sundance, which focuses, well, I don't know what it is now, but it started out by focusing on small production in indie films and things like that. And I think they still have a focus of that. But
yeah, they still do. I didn't know that he was involved with starting that. But
yeah, that's from his character, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I wonder why it was named that too. Yeah, but yeah, they still have Sundance, and it's still for independent producers.
Yeah, I got the People's article to read and do a little singing for him on my show this week.
The only thing that makes me sad about his career is that for the production time and then the memory of it for forever of having to start in a film and actually kiss Barbra Streisand. Ugh, God.
A testament to his acting.
Okay, you have to think about the time that was done, and did people really regard her as being that bad way back then?
Heck, back then nobody knew where her house was.
She had an incredible voice. It's so competent and capable. But I hated its tone. I hated the song she sung, and she seemed to be such a diva, and I'd grown up around people like her or girls like her, and they just make me crazy, and so I transfer all that negativity to her. Jen, I'm trusting you that this is true. This is weird.
A bar on Yukon territory says an actual frozen toe that they would serve in a glass of whiskey. It's been eaten at least twice. Well, if it's been eaten twice, how do they still have it?
Everybody's got 13
X-Lax?
toes. You don't?
No, I think that. I think what Mage meant was after somebody eats it, they make them take X-Lax so they can retrieve it.
Oh. That's what I told the doctor before.
Now
he
that would be
operated.
really gross for the guy who ate it the second time.
Like it's not gross for the first time.
Yeah, well, you know,
Or maybe
it's in levels. Because the first time it's just a severed toe. The second time it's a severed toe coated in human shit.
I imagine they'd wash it off first.
or maybe the first time, the person takes a chop and spits it out. Maybe. Hey,
Well,
waiter,
then they
there's a
really
toe in
didn't
my
eat-
salad.
Yeah, then they didn't really eat it. Then they just sucked on it.
How and do you sterilize it between users?
Yeah, that's
Well-
the problem with organic material is how can you sterilize it without destroying it?
Yeah, would they have had to at least mummify it and then serve it, or plastic coat it maybe? Or you go to the hardware store, you can get that stuff that you dip it in and it hardens.
Jenny, Spooky
Yeah.
says Barbara Streisand always spoke well of you.
Oh, she did not. She hated me.
Or maybe the first time it gets swallowed, and the person barfs it back up, and it's been cleaned in stomach acid. So hey, there you go.
Well, Robin does have a point that the whiskey, the alcohol would kill most pathogens.
Okay, apparently it is a mummified preserved human toe at the bottom of the drink.
Okay,
Oh
it's
God, it's
mummified,
true.
huh?
Well, it would have to be. You're not going to be able to keep something like that supple unless you've been soaking it in formaldehyde.
Well,
and then you don't really want to drink that.
I was thinking like they froze it inside of an ice cube. That was what I was imagining it was. So they just always kept it frozen, and that was how it was preserved.
Well, but that's the point of it. It's a frozen toe serving as an ice cube.
And
So if they always kept it in the freezer, it would keep a long time.
and Mage, does it say that they reuse the same toe all the time?
Looks like it.
How many of their bar patrons limp?
Yeah.
Legend of the first sour toe date back to 1920, so maybe different toe.
So if you run a tab at that, do they make you pay in digits? Is it the first digital bar ever? Or?
No, that's how they keep supplied. That if you don't pay your tab, they take one of your toes at the end of the night.
Want to see a picture?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm used to an ugly toe, so this is easy. When the doctor was telling me, explaining amputation and stuff like that, and trying to make me feel okay about it and things, it's just a toe, and it's only going to take. And I said, don't worry, I've got 13 extra others. It's not a problem. That's lovely. That's a great toe. That's not just a toe.
I think Spooky has a point here.
Spare toes.
Well, I think Spooky has a point here that severed toes are much more common in places where they use chainsaws frequently.
Looking at some of these pictures, it looks like there's different toes.
Well, come on. Share.
Okay, well, that explains how somebody could eat one, and that they're
Look at that one
restocking
there.
them.
That looks like a different toe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like mine.
Blackened toe.
Chainsaws and -40. You bet. Love -40.
Yep. Yeah, that happens around here once in a while, although not for the last several years.
Oh, we got it 2 years ago. We hit another 40 below. But the coldest I've been through here within the last 10 years is 43 below.
Yeah. Well, I've only been back here for 5 years, and I just know that in general the winters are not as cold as they used to be. In the 10 years I was gone, somebody warmed up Minnesota a bit.
Yeah, that would be the Republican Party.
Let's see here. Looks like the recipe is 1 ounce minimum of alcohol, 1 dehydrated toe, and garnish with courage.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah.
This seems to imply that you consume the toe.
Well, they did say some people eat it, so
I mean,
I'm sure.
a worm in the bottom of a bottle of tequila is one thing, but
Yeah.
geez.
Well, I'm sure that's a big thing there about, like guys betting on it, trying to outman each other and like, okay, whoever loses this game of pool has to eat the toe.
Yeah, like I said, though some of the things we eat, I kind of wonder how many started as a dare.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
back in college days when I was still trying to cure myself to be a boy, we were in drinking contests. College stupid kids do that shit. It even back then we did, yes, and I was faced with having to drink the worm in the tequila, and I did, and it didn't work. It came right back up. It never even got past the epiglottis. It just I just couldn't do it. It was
Okay.
disgusting.
Jin says the first toe was consumed in 1980, and there have been 7 since then.
The club has acquired 25 toes.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Where do you acquire human body parts?
Let's see
Okay,
here.
From humans. I'm sure that's correct.
Okay, I have to step away for a minute. I'll be right
Okay,
back.
let's just gonna get the origin. The legend of the first sour toe dates back to the 1920s and features a feisty rum runner named Lewis Lincoln and his brother Otto. During one of their cross-border deliveries, they ran into an awful blizzard. In an effort to help direct his dog team, Lewis stepped off the sled and into some icy overflow, soaking his foot thoroughly. Fearing that the police were on their trail, they continued on their journey. Unfortunately, the prolonged exposure to the cold caused Lewis's big toe to be frozen. To prevent gangrene, the faithful Otto performed an amputation using a woodcutting axe and some overproof rum for anesthesia. To commemorate the moment, and the brothers preserved the toe in a jar of alcohol. Years later, while cleaning out an abandoned cabin, the toe was discovered by Captain Dick Stevenson. After conferring with friends, the Sour Toe Cocktail Club was established and the rules developed. And that's where it goes on to say that they've since acquired 25 toes.
Yeah, but did they say why? They acquired 25 toes?
No, since its inception, the club has acquired 25 toes. That's all it says at the end. From donations.
Oh, maybe they pin them up to the wall like those dollar bills or bras in some bars.
So, somebody comes in like, here, drink my toe.
I wonder if you were to boil those in like pectin, if you would have you'd end up with toe jam.
But
Thank you, Journey.
I don't know if I should consider this the grossest thing I've heard of when it comes to alcohol. I have heard of people making alcohol out of vaginal yeast.
Yeah, and ice cream out of breast milk.
Don't you just love the conversations that we have on these shows?
no, I could see the ice cream before I could see the alcohol. I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, they started a whole business on it. Their own little no, well, it's not a brewery, it's a winery. So it would be Memory Meadows. Maybe that was the name. That was you stitch 25 toes together would be about 2 feet. Let's see, 29 is muff beer.
Yeah. I wonder if, like one of the guys who donated a toe is just always sitting at the back of the bar watching to see who's going to eat it.
Essence of amaranth.
Yeah, I
See-
have often heard about women baking bread from the yeast in their own vagina.
Oh, and so that's they'd make them into taco shells then, wouldn't they?
Making beer with own vaginal yeast. Each drink consists of lactic acid made from vaginal bacteria.
Spooky. No, my corns are just built up flesh and callus and stuff like that, but they're just as tasty as.
Yeah, well, a barley
Barley.
corn is 25 inches, and the digit that was decided from was actually a finger, not a toe. So,
Oh, that's why it says it's called Essence of Amaranth, and because it's from the OnlyFans person who goes by the name Amaranth.
yeah, Jen was asking about a chef who used her vaginal yeast to brew beer. And it's like, women, if you have yeast growing down there, that's an infection. That's not an ingredient.
Would they would have to name the product. I would like to suggest VagSynth.
Or Vegahol.
We always see pictures of, cat loafs, so I think that would just be pussy loaf.
Spooky. What's the difference between a British and an American barley corn? Is it their accent or?
I'm thinking that Spooky is believing that one is larger than the other. I don't know. Although, to be
Everything's
fair,
bigger in America.
yeah, there were no barley corns in America before the British got here. They brought them over.
I love barley.
Yeah, but the plant did not grow in North America until the British formed colonies here.
So they brought over barley and dandelions and garlic mustard. Damn fucking British. God damn.
And we traded squirrels. The red squirrels were imported from Europe, and we exported our gray squirrels to Europe.
We also exported our tomatoes to Europe.
Well, They weren't our tomatoes to begin with. They came from South America.
Yep.
When they got up to missionary land, everybody thought they were toxic, and they didn't go over well for a long time because they're related to nightshade.
Well,
Apparently, sorry.
Sorry.
Apparently, the brand that sells it is Yanni Beer. Go ahead.
Yanni beer.
YONI. YONI. Yoni beer. Yanni beer.
That is a woman's name.
Yeah, from my understanding, the Italian word for tomato actually means poison apple.
Oh,
Makes sense.
And that's I think it's really weird that the stuff that we most think about being traditional Italian food is all imported because Marco Polo brought the noodles back from China, and the Spanish brought the tomatoes back from South America.
Yeah.
So, like, spaghetti, anything with spaghetti, anything with red sauce, the Italians didn't have at least before 1500 something. Spooky says Yanni is code for hoo-ha. Well, I was wondering if Yanni was an anime reference, but if Mage didn't get that, I suppose no.
I thought he played the pan flute.
Sorry, I thought who played the pan flute?
Yanni.
Oh.
Well, that answers the question of whether or not Pan was male or female.
Actually, I have a pan flute here somewhere with an instruction book.
Despite the specialized lifeline having received more than 1.5 million crisis contacts since 2022, with an increasing number each year. The missing teen in Oregon.
Missed the most of it. There's check out your news. There's something going on with the 988 LGBT hotline. You know how Trump took that funding away for that particular portion of it.
Yep.
It's back in the news, so something's going on. I missed exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But they did just speak the statistics that particular portion of the line has received over 1.5 million calls since its inception.
Yep.
That's a lot.
Well, and I think there's a group of Republicans who, are just hoping that queer people will eliminate themselves. So they want to remove any kind of support services they might have.
And the excuse, for that cruelty is, well, that proves it's a mental illness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they're cutting funding for that, but they're giving funding for, all the congressmen and senators, trying to push for that extra, basically to give them all bodyguards.
Yeah, like that's necessary.
Well, and again, there was no thought of doing this for the judges that were actually getting credible threats just because they were hearing cases that involved Trump. It wasn't necessary then.
I need to step away from it.
Hoo-ha is code for Granny's Donut. Okay. So does this mean there's a market for the stuff? I mean, could you be selling this on some site? I don't know if Etsy lets you sell food stuff or not.
Yeah, hoo-ha beer sounds pretty good.
Well, again, there has to be a fetish for it, so I'm wondering if there aren't guys who are out there, looking for women just selling the yeast for them.
Well, like I said, apparently this was with OnlyFans and celebrity who sold their vaginal yeast through a lab, and then this company he took it and turned into a beer called Essence of Amaranth, named after the person.
Okay, that must have been when I stepped away. I didn't hear that part. I shall go back. Yeah. Try this. I got a new type of comb for my cats, so I'm trying very carefully to see if they're comfortable with it.
My friend got Molly a squeaky toy. With like these. I'm not quite sure what it is. Really, it's some kind of monster or something that has like spikes on its back. Molly hasn't really played with it too much, but she likes it as a brush or a comb.
Yeah. Well, I got this. This comb is like a metal rake to be able to get down and get the shedding from the undercoat. Because they love being brushed, but I think the brushes I was using on them, weren't getting deep enough to get, the shed of the seasonal coat. Well, Sammy seems fine with this one as long as he gets to rub his face all over it. Ethan was doing
Mine.
okay with it, and I accidentally bopped him in the head. Well, he's trying to come back and eat the fur that has gathered in the comb. He has a bad habit of that. He's got pica. He eats random things off the floor, which was always a problem with me bringing him up to Donna's because he loved the brightly colored yarn scrap for snacks, which generally meant that, he was going to throw up in 3 separate places in my apartment when he came back down.
Well, one way of cleaning out in a brush or a comb like that is just to use the vacuum cleaner.
Yep.
It works pretty good.
Well, this one will be easy to clean. Like I say, this one's like a little metal rake. Their other brushes, are like the boar's hair brushes with a lot of bristles very tightly packed, and those are pretty much impossible to really clean, but I can kind of take a comb and comb out the brushes and I can get the majority of it out.
Yeah, so I was saying I actually had used one that has like one side that's like the metal spiky thing, and the other side is the the bristle. And clean it off for Molly, I just take the vacuum cleaner and suck out the hair. Works really well.
Yeah, well,
I'm back.
Really grooving on this.
Hi back.
Spooky.
I'm Bernie.
Spooky, I have one. You do not, I believe. Have either of you guys tried those? Well, they have some fancy glove that they sell and make too much money off of, but you can do it with any kind of silicone or rubber or something like that. That it's in the shape of a glove, and the palm is this rubbery silicone material, and you just pet the dog, pet the cat, and all the loose fur comes with.
I have one of those, but neither Sammy nor Petunia seem to care for it.
I was looking into something like that, but it was more for bathing.
Yeah. Petunia absolutely hated it. She would attack the thing.
If it's silicone, I bet it would behave the same whether it's wet or dry.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it being useful for bathing a dog. For getting the shampoo down into their fur.
No, Cooch. It's not a car. It's something that gets wet on the inside.
This vaginal yeast beer obviously needs some competitors. So how about Cooch Coors?
Coors is already made from piss.
Yeah, but Cooch Coors would be perfect because then it's from pussies for pussies. I don't drink beer at all, but Oh, Sammy is absolutely loving this, but he always loves to be brushed. That's
I don't
his favorite thing.
I don't like beer either. Is there anybody else out there that hates beer?
Not a fan of beer.
Me.
There's only been maybe one beer I can tolerate. I've tried.
Yeah, I just, ever since I was a teenager, it's like I tried beer, when I was a teenager, and it's like why would anybody drink this stuff? I just never understood.
Yeah, my go-tos are more for the sweeter stuff. Currently I have the Kraken Gold Spiced Rum. They used to sell this black label one I really liked, but unfortunately they discontinued it. And my other go-to has become my favorite is the Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey, or the honey. Tullamore Dew honey Irish whiskey.
Well, I just like, just whiskey in a glass of ginger ale and just, a shot of citrus juice, lemon or lime.
Yeah, I've never had a taste for beer, but I do enjoy a good cider.
Yep. I love a good
Yep.
cider, and I can't find one anymore. I can't find a decent hard cider. All I can find are these, like they're malt beverages that they say are flavored to be cider, and it's like, no, that's not right. This is just bad beer to me.
I'm a Purple. That's her name. Gosh, this is bad. Is it this weekend? I'm pretty sure it's this weekend. Unfortunately, as you come south, instead of taking I-94, take the River Road, take the River Road down to the La Crosse area, and continue south just a couple of miles, and you hit La Crescent, which is considered by some to be the apple capital of Minnesota. And
is there any connection between the apple capital and capitalism?
It could well be. It's Apple Fest weekend. It's just, it's a huge deal. I guarantee you they will have natural alcoholic cider and non-alcoholic cider.
If I was going down to see my brother down in southern Wisconsin, that would be good. But where I'm going this weekend is the Upper Peninsula, Michigan. So we actually just go north to Duluth and take US 2 all the way across.
Okay. Have you had Dixon cider? My wife loves Dixon cider, and so does his sister. Even my mom likes Dixon cider. Get Dixon cider today.
Dixon cider sounds good to me. Well, there were 2 brands of hard cider that I, before I moved out of Minnesota, which was, actually about 15 years ago now, that there were 2 brands I liked. One was called Woodpecker and one was called Hornsby. And I have asked about this at several liquor stores, and I was going all over trying to find out where I could buy them, until the manager of one of the liquor stores finally told me that both of their companies had been bought out and they weren't producing them anymore.
Yeah, there was a stretch a few years ago where there was kind of a big hard cider fad, and you had a number of different brands that had made a good quality product, and they also had kind of clever advertising, like Smith and Forge, and found out later, after a while I couldn't find Smith and Forge anymore, and I did some hunting and I found out it was made by Coors, and basically after the fad kind of faded out, well, they discontinued the product.
Yeah. Well, the only one I can find around here anymore is Angry Orchard.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they use cane sugar, which I'm allergic to.
Oh, okay.
So, basically that's like, it will guarantee I get a hangover even from just one cider.
Yeah.
That's just not worth it.
I do like their the green apple little cider that Angry Orchard has.
Jen, I need a Dickin as well.
Yeah,
You know,
well, and
Journey, I'm like this 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. It's a very
Well-
stiff contract.
yeah, that's what I thought was that the woodpecker was more like the authentic British cider. I need a Dickens. Okay. I didn't get that one at first. That took me a moment. Yeah, unfortunately for me, it's good to live in Minnesota because most of the stuff around here is made from beet sugar because sugar beet is one of our major crops.
I'm not sure why
So,
beet sugar wouldn't affect you, but the regular sugar does.
yeah, I don't know why, but if I have anything that's cane sugar, or if I have rum because it's usually made from sugar cane, it's like it triggers my migraines. So it's a lot like having a hangover. And that's even from something that's non-alcoholic. Like if cane sugar is used in Kool-Aid, I will feel like I've got a hangover. But the beet sugar doesn't affect me.
Because they should be chemically identical, sucrose.
I don't know. Trace is something else that gets in there. I don't know.
I always like the people who said that they were. Well, I shouldn't bring it up that way. It's like people being allergic to monosodium glutamate, which is a natural product that you get in your food anyway.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to look at this link that Jen's sending. Look at that later. See if I can get some, see if they'll ship it to me. Okay, yeah. Victoria's saying it's likely they're residual proteins. And that's why I was thinking that there must be a trace of something else that gets into the cane sugar.
Maybe it has to do with the filtering process.
Yeah, well, Spooky, getting it in the UK doesn't help me much because I know what normal shipping from the UK costs, and I'm sure that there'd be a lot of extra fees on there for it being liquid and for it being alcoholic.
And for Trump being president.
Yeah.
It's apparently
an asshole tax.
Yeah.
Well, apparently with sugarcane, they'll filter it using a bone char.
A what?
Bone char. Charred animal bones they'll use as a filter for cane sugars.
Well, that could be the difference because I think beet sugar, they usually
Yeah, they don't do that with beet sugar.
yeah. Oh, hi, Porpoise. Tickets to the Book of Mormon musical. I've heard that's hilarious.
In America, Spooky in America, woodpecker cider would eventually earn the nickname of drinking a woody.
I could see them using that in their advertising at one point. Probably wouldn't do it today, but some years back that would have gone over well.
Kind of like Joker or making a boner.
Yep.
Oh, they do ship to Minnesota.
Okay, well, I'll have to check it out. Oh, well, how we doing here? Maybe we should wrap up here, and maybe I can still get something else done tonight.
Did you say something?
Yeah, I was saying, how about we wrap it up here because I've got a lot to do. I still have to get ready for my trip. So
right.
I've got a bunch of stuff I need to do yet, and I've only got tonight and tomorrow.
But we can't stop now. Sinister just showed up. So we have to start over from the beginning.
No. I definitely can't do another 2 hours here.
Sorry, Porpoise.
Yeah, and tomorrow also I've got to go and get Slothgirl's son because he's going to be driving with me. So that will be nice that I don't have to do the whole drive myself. He doesn't have his license yet, but he's got his learner's permit. So it'll give him a chance to have a bit of practice highway driving on a highway that's, not an interstate, so it's not quite as bad. It's a U.S. highway. So the only thing you have to really watch out for is to slow down when there's a town coming up.
And alcoholics coming the other way. It's Upper Michigan.
Yeah, and logging trucks throwing pieces of bark at you.
Or entire logs if their chains fail.
I've seen that happen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have had to just, dodge when a logging truck, when just pieces of the bark, and I mean, I mean big pieces like 2 foot long come flying off the truck because the logs are drying out as they're driving.
I have a couple of cardinal rules when I'm driving. One, never ever drive behind a flatbed carrying steel coil. Avoid being behind or on the sides of a log carrier, and don't ever drive in front of a cement trunk. just don't.
Good rules. I generally try to avoid trailers at all. I'm wondering if there's something that auto insurance, the auto insurance companies have taken into account, but should you have to pay higher insurance rate, if you live like within a 2-mile radius of a Home Depot where people don't secure their loads properly?
I'm still wondering how the hell that car ended up in the tree.
We had that happen at Road America in one of the IndyCar races. A woman whose name I forget, but had a very good reputation for driving.
Catherine Legg.
Yes, thank you. You must know the story. She got bent out of shape in the portion of the track called the kink, which is a very dangerous off-camber shift type turn that amateurs shouldn't be anywhere near. But nonetheless, shit happened, and she ended up in the trees because after to the west of the kink, it's a hill. Goes down a bunch, and she ended up hung up in the trees that were up there.
Well, that wasn't quite the case. We were driving through the my dad was driving back from the highway, and as we were going, I was looking out the window and I just see this car sitting in the tree. No idea how it got there.
Are you a racing fan, Journey?
Oh yeah.
SCCA and IMSA and all that kind of road race stuff?
Well, I'd like to keep up with that level of racing, but it's hard to find info on that.
Yeah, it is.
But I do keep up with the F1 season.
Oh, cool.
Well, Jenny, I think in your story it was obvious how it happened. I mean, that's what you get with lady drivers.
Oh boy, you were looking for getting punched out.
Hey, I am one now.
Then slap yourself silly. Journey, before we go, you're in touch on Twitter, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I'll be sure to tag me and let's get a discussion on how we can get Daphne to be in contact with you.
Yeah. I'll DM a phone number to you so that she and I can text each other.
Okay. I should have asked her to if I had permission to give hers to you, and I forgot.
Well, I've got Jenny's phone number. I can drop it in the public chat here.
No, don't you dare. Or I will come up to St. Cloud and I will throttle you.
Just make sure you include have a good time.
As long as you put in $150 for 10 minutes, fine.
There you go.
Well, Jenny, you're saying that you want to meet someone and have some fun. So, yeah, maybe I should be, try to go mask one day and just put it in all the men's room.
No, you do 150 for the first minute, 200 for additional minutes.
Yep. Although honestly, I think I have reached the point that I'm not sure if I could actually, convincingly go back to mask.
Both emotionally and limp-wise. Yes, she's been on HRT for quite a while now.
Well,
that's not really going to work anymore.
No, but I'd also have to wear a very baggy sweatshirt because even in fairly loose-fitting clothes, my nips still pop up.
Well, just tell them gynecologist asked you.
Okay, Spooky already found it. Okay, I'm just wondering how it got to the UK.
I'm very popular. Actually, my phone number is hanging up on a community board in a bar in Timbuktu.
Mhm.
I'll have you know.
Well, see that you need to advertise more.
Do you need to tap your foot first?
I just have to pass this on. I heard a little discussion going on between some extremist right wingers and some extremist left wingers, or trans supporters, I should say, and it was Charlie Kirk, of course, was the topic, and the shooter in particular, and the claims of them being trans, and how it's all morphed over time here. That now we know that the roommate was allegedly trans. There's no signs of transition, as I understand it. Only commentary.
Yeah, I can explain that apparently they were using the name Luna in their TikToks.
Mm-hmm.
No, I understand that the roommate actually was in therapy for some things and did declare their intent to transition, but hadn't done anything. So I just don't know where it's at.
Yeah, that's
anyhow.
Yeah, let Jenny finish.
See, now I'm forgetting. Damn it. Oh yeah. So they're desperately trying to blame this whole thing on a trans person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're just chomping at the bit. That's Charlie Kirk was done in by a trans person, which actually would make sense and be very appropriate. But nonetheless, it didn't. So they're using this. That roommate was trans, and that's what caused it. And the trans person came back and said, well, the roommate is who turned them into the police first. Isn't that a good? Isn't that a good thing?
I was hearing they turned themselves in after talking to a pastor or something.
Well, yeah, from what I heard, he had confessed to his father, and his father told the pastor about it, and the pastor called him in for a session, and then got him to turn himself in.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
As I understand it, and again, it wasn't totally clear, that the roommate actually called the police and said, "This is the person you're looking for."
That's interesting. That would fit. Basically, I've actually been looking at the little timeline of this. Okay, so first, right after the shooter, they claimed it was a trans shooter. That's before we even had a suspect. Then they said the markings on the bullets were trans. That was coming from Steve Crowder. Turns out those markings were manufacturing stamps. I do believe it was TRN. Then they said he did it for his transgender partner. No, who they may or may not be trans, and they were in full cooperation with the authorities. So that's where we're at with the whole trying to blame trans people. I think also something about he listened to a trans song once.
Oh well, that'll get you every time.
Ember is saying the roommate participated in some online forums for breast binders and beard growth. So that sounds more trans mask.
Breast binders and this is a from my understanding, it'd be male female transition now.
Yeah, well, that's
so it's really
yeah.
Like I said, there's really stuff on this whole thing is just not making sense. Trying to make sense. I can't make sense of the contradicting stuff going on.
Spooky, that's a really, really unfair statement. I was only 9 years old. I was there with Ted Cruz's father.
and I also had read through the I also had read through the text messages or supposed text messages is between Tyler and Twigs, because it's a person's last name. I'm just going to use last name since I'm not really sure pronouns and all that.
Yeah.
But there's actually some question as to whether there's authenticity in these text messages that were released by the FBI, because there's no timestamps associated with them.
Yeah. And I heard a video where the Vegas police were supposedly reading a transcript of the text messages, and the language was way too formal to have been texted by somebody in their 20s, and using terms like "my love."
Yeah, I have. Let's see if I can find it. I believe it's this one.
I've always spoken weird like I do now.
Here we are.
Some 20-year-olds talk that way.
No, I think what Unfinished was saying was that 20-year-olds who grew up texting and have always had cell phones, they don't spell things out very much. They always abbreviate everything.
Well, what we have is a transcript of the text on the sheet.
Okay. It's a transcript, so it was trans.
Yeah. Anyway, this is what we have. This is it's on New York Post. Drop what you're doing. Look under my keyboard. What? You're joking, right? I'm still okay, hey my love, but damn it, I'm stuck in Orem for a little while, a little longer yet. It shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. Well, to be honest, I'd hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you. You weren't the one who did it, right? This is apparently after the shooting, for as I can tell with his interaction. I am sorry. I thought they caught not the person. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude that interrogated some one in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there is one vehicle lingering. Why? Why did I do it? Yeah. I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Interestingly enough, you'd say that he left no evidence because, according to reports from Kash Patel, they found a screwdriver on the roof with his DNA. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully, they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. It's a blank one. How long have you been planning this? A bit over a week, I believe. I can and get close to it, but there's a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept at that spot, but I don't want to chance it. I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. It was actually a fairly new rifle they found.
Yeah,
I,
that doesn't sound right.
IDEK. I'm not sure what that stands for. If I
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay. If I
Yeah, I don't
serial.
even know.
Okay, I don't even know. Okay. If I had even serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints I had and to leave it in a bush where I changed outfit. That's strange. Didn't have the ability to time aim to bring it with. If I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the fuck will I explain losing it to my old man? One thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The fucking messages are mostly a big meme. Some of the messages are actually kind of questionable for somebody who's supposedly on the left. If I see, you notice bulge. Actually, what was written on was notice bulges is uwu. Who on Fox News. I might have a stroke. All right, I'm going to have to leave it. That really fucking sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa his gun is fine. I don't know. No, I think that was a $2,000 scope. Delete this exchange. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The Fed has released a photo of the rifle and it's very unique. He's calling me RN and not answering. Since Trump got into office, my dad has been in pretty diehard MAGA. I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. And that's the end of it. The other one is that's just. Oh wait, here's a little bit more. You are all I worry about, love. I'm much more worried about you. Don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any, please ask you questions. Ask for law here and stay silent.
Yeah, there's several things in that seem inconsistent with the evidence they've already reported. Especially the thing about engraving messages on the bullet casings, since those were found out to
No, there were
marks.
no, there were engravings on the bullet casings, but the ones that they were saying were manufacturing marks.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the bottom surface of a shell, there's the manufacturer's name and caliber size and other information.
Yeah, and like Meg said, that TRN was one of the manufacturer's marks, and that's what they were saying was trans.
Oh, and we all know caliber size is a euphemism.
For
well,
that's
come
right.
on, Jenny.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Caliber size is what men need to compensate for.
Twinkle tits blew it. I'm sorry. There's I saw on TikTok a video that somebody had that was looking at different camera angles of of the shooting. There a lot of people had cameras going and stuff, and they found one that is kind of behind it on an angle where they're looking back towards where the shell came from.
Mm-hmm.
And there is you can actually see very small, but it's there in the background, a muzzle flash. And it's timed perfectly with the audio.
Yeah, they said something that he was firing from on top of a building across from the field or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel we're at any great loss because this was clearly a person who had absolutely no empathy for anyone.
Here, see, according to the thing, it was notice bulges. Ooh, what's this? Hey, fastest catch with arrows, which were a game indication from, I believe, Helldivers 2, who Bella Chow. If you read the "You are gay" with the laugh LMAO, is what was written on the four bullets, and a lot of those don't line up for somebody who's left leaning.
Yep.
No, the Bella Ciao is used by lots and lots of young people from any political persuasion.
Yeah, some of these can be go on both camps.
Right,
So,
but Bella Ciao is very commonly used in the Griper community.
yeah, it did start with, it actually started with it was an anti-fascist song, but it can also be used, but it's also been used as by gropers as a mockery. Notice bulges, that's actually, it can be used from a furry community, though it's usually in the singular. Notice bulge is more of a noticing somebody's erection, but it's also used as an anti-trans transvestigating thing by the right, particularly gropers again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's generally used by transphobes for, how they can spot a trans woman.
And of course, you have if you who read the "You are gay," which doesn't really sound like something that you would have written by somebody who's on the left. So
yeah, well, and they, what I heard recently, they have found he was a registered Republican.
No, that was another.
Apparently, he hadn't voted in any recent elections.
No, he wasn't registered Republican. He was registered unaffiliated. The registered Republican was another guy who with the same name in the same town. Same with the guy who this is probably the same guy who donated the $200 some odd to the Trump Fund organization. I got that one wrong myself, so don't worry about that.
Well, that was just what I heard on a report earlier today, and so that was not accurate information.
The reports are all a confusing mess right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it goes. It's a fog of war, and
yeah,
at some point people are going to say, "Oh, all the newspapers and media sucks because they couldn't get any of this right." No, it develops, so. This is perfectly understandable. There's going to be lots of mistakes because people are as bad at talking about this stuff as we think, including ourselves.
Yeah, it's not helping that the FBI heading this is making a mess of the investigation and seem to be more concerned about releasing all this information than actually doing their goddamn job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sumami, yes, you are 1000% correct. Taylor Swift gets that laid on her all the time because she is pronounced, but they love to dish on the women that they lust for the most. By the way, if you'd like to go to lawyer.org, no, I'm sorry, lawsuit.com or .org. I don't remember. It's com or org. Lawsuit.com or org. And do a little search for the word transgender, and you'll come up with this lovely little article from a couple of years ago that talks all about how all the Googling and stuff for trans is coming from Republicans.
Yep.
By a wide margin. They used maps that tracked it down to the county.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot of red down south there.
Yeah. There's also there's also that whole argument of him having the gun and all that.
Yeah.
So I heard this morning some reporter said that the gun was a gift from his father.
Considering what I've heard of the background of his family, it would sound like a gun would not have been like an unusual birthday present in that family.
No, it wouldn't. Well, apparently, if we were to believe these text messages, and it was his grandfather's gun, and the marking and the stuff written on the bullets was just a joke.
Yeah, apparently his father was very heavily into the gun culture and was,
yes,
pushing him into it as well.
there's also the things with the Halloween costumes that have been pointed out. Of pictures of him just as being on Trump's shoulders, and another one where he's apparently doing a Pepe the Frog meme in costume. So
I hadn't heard
Well-
about costumes, but yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing a set of black sweats,
yeah,
And-
black
and
Adidas
crouching.
sweats.
but that meme exists independently of the Groiper thing. Like the Groipers, like that meme was already around, and then the Groipers grabbed it and put the Pepe Frog, face on it. And I like the Groiper thing would be more convincing to me if he were wearing like a frog mask or green face paint or something like that.
Yeah, that one was the kind of, I think. I'm not so
It-
sure
it-
about that one myself, because it's
Right.
quite easy to just wear same similar Adidas thing. Yeah.
And I think the original picture that meme is based off of, it's a Romanian guy who's crouching.
From my understanding, with the whole gun thing and the events of the shooting, we see a home security camera footage around, I think it was like 8 something in a.m. and where he's wearing his maroon shirt and these shorts. Where he's just kind of walking away, doing. My guess would be maybe he's tracing the path he's going to take at that time. Around 11 some odd, 11:30 somewhere around that time. You see him again and wearing the black long sleeve and jeans with sort of a limp, apparently because he had the gun and stuff down on the leg of his pants on his right side. Right. Then we see the stills of him going up the stairs. I noticed in those stills you can actually see sort of like a rectangular square outline on his right hip, and there's another one just below his knee. So I don't know what that is. I'm guessing the gun was maybe in parts or stuffed under his pant leg, because you don't really see what looks like the gun stuffed down his pants in those shots. After he gets to the rooftop, it was about 5 minutes between him being on the rooftop up to when he shot Charlie Kirk, and then 1 minute after that, he's jumping off of the roof and running off. Some people have noticed this it's a very blurry image. It's really hard to say what that's going on. But they noticed that he is holding something as he's jumping off the roof, but they doesn't look like the size and shape of a rifle. But again, it's a very blurry image, so who knows?
Well, there was a discussion that he broke the gun down up on the rooftop, but I mean that's a 30-06 bolt action. That's the barrel is separate from the rest of the mechanism, but it's not a quickly disassemblable gun like an AR or something, or an AK or something like that.
One argument I saw where they were going over news outlet is the guys, you can take the bolt from the bolt action out, and there is a button that you can push that will allow you to fold the thing together. But when I did my own search to try and figure out how this could be broken down like that, I did not find anything saying that the weapon could be folded in half like that.
The question is that, okay, if indeed he did break it down on the rooftop, why did he put it back together to leave it in the forest?
Yeah, that's another question. So things just aren't adding up with this whole thing. Because what he's holding could be a broken down rifle. Like I said, it's a very blurry image. You can't really make out what the hell he's holding. He could have been holding his backpack. It could have been, who knows.
Okay, well, like I said, I would like to shut down here so I can get something else done. So, unfinished.
Fine, spoil sport.
Unfinished. Do you have any final thoughts or anything you want to plug?
Let's see. I've been having a conversation with a friend of mine about who's a Trump supporter about the Charlie Kirk situation, and I've been yesterday and today I've been working on a multi-point response, and that's kind of for a couple days anyways, that's kind of gotten in the way of me working on the Let Freedom Ring project.
Mhm.
But this person I think is probably more towards the ill-informed side than as opposed to malicious. So I
Yeah.
think there is I think there's hope for a constructive dialogue there.
Well, if you thought it was at all appropriate to share, I'd be interested in seeing the discussion.
Yeah, I suppose I could post that in the Twitter chat with with his name redacted and all that.
Yeah. A lot of what I'm going over just went over is what from a back and forth I'm having with somebody as well, who I plan to speak privately with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been having some discussions too with someone who is, not MAGA, but they've been a Republican voter.
Yeah.
And just finding out how little they knew about the things Charlie Kirk said, just because Fox News never told them any of the bad things.
Right.
Since Ember is here, I think Perp, I'd like to commit to that idea of a show on Saturday, not this Saturday, but
Saturday.
in the next few somewhere, and get Ember here since she's up here a week and can hear about it right now this moment and save all communication hassles.
Yeah, it will have to be a Saturday, probably in the later half of October.
Okay, Ember, we're kind of talking about a show that has to do with the anxiety of transition and passing and kind of a trauma oriented discussion. So it wouldn't be happy necessarily, but I would love to have you there because you're so good at this stuff.
Yeah, something talking more about the mental issues that you go through transitioning as opposed to just the physical changes. So
All
yeah,
right.
we'll have to tag a bunch of other trans people, see if Bree might be willing to participate.
Okay, well, I'm gonna boogie to now that it's 2 minutes before 5 o'clock and NCIS comes on at 5.
Okay.
See where your priorities are.
Yeah.
Well, they started over the series over, and Mark Ehrman is a lot younger, and
Yeah. See, when I wanted to go 40 odd minutes ago, no, then we weren't going to be able to close the show. But okay, Mage, what have you got coming up?
Well, I'm still trying to work out some details as to what I'm going to be covering, but I'm thinking maybe reviewing the new Toxic Avenger movie.
I didn't know there was a new one.
Yeah, there's one that they just recently released with Peter Dinklage playing Toxic Avenger.
Okay, yeah, I saw the 2 of the really old ones, but okay, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, yeah, I won't be able to see it when you're live. I'll have to probably wait until Tuesday or Wednesday before I get a chance to watch the replay of your show.
That's okay. I keep them up so you can watch them anytime.
Yeah, but it's much better when I can be in the side chat and make jokes and ask questions.
Yeah. I appreciate the comments you leave. So.
Well, some of them. I know that nobody appreciates some of my jokes. Let's be honest.
Are we about through? Okay. What am I up to? Nothing. Let's get going. Just and end this damn show like it's Christy Gnome's puppy.
Hold on.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
I just have one more thing to read. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Oh, that's too long, isn't it?
Okay, everybody. I've got nothing else going, but I'll see you here same time next week.
Woof, woof.
Yep.
Be-
And I am terrible about this, but we need to always acknowledge the people who contribute to the show. Kitty the Atheist, Robert X, Greg Hartwick, Sandy Shore, Skitscrasher, Regios, and Junie. You know, we appreciate you all helping us keep things going here. So with that, we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Be yourself.
Be gay, don't get caught, especially these days.